Thank you so much to our director, external director, our friends from the PMFTC who are here with us on the occasion of this 10th Bright Leaf Agriculture Journalism Awards Caravan that we're having here in the province of Bohol. Our good friends in the media from the province of Bohol who are here with us. Of course, our good friend from the Department of Agriculture, a friend from way back, Regional Director Joel Ilumba. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Boholanos, maayong hapon natong tanan. Well, before I begin my brief speech, well, allow me to once again not just to welcome you to this affair, but as well as welcome all our guests here in the province of Bohol. Thank you for choosing Bohol to be one of the places that you're going to do the caravan. And so to all of you who are here present today, a pleasant good afternoon. It is indeed truly a great privilege to be invited here to talk before the journalists of my province of Bohol. I am a little bit anxious knowing that my audience today would be you. But then, to give respect to the request, I have to decided to shorten my speech because, as they say, more talk, more mistake, less talk, less mistake. But seriously, may I take this opportunity to congratulate the Philip Morris Philippines Manufacturing Incorporated and the Fortune Tobacco Corporation for their efforts in bringing great minds to one room to discuss pressing and complex issues affecting the country's agricultural sector. 2016, I believe, is a year for reckoning. The province of Bohol has witnessed a number of natural disasters that cause heavy damages to agriculture and infrastructure. In October 2013, a 7.2 magnitude earthquake hit Bohol, claiming lives and destroying livelihoods of many Boholanos. And shortly after, in November, Super Typhoon Haiyan pounded Bohol's already devastated and highly vulnerable communities. As in other provinces, the key economic activity in Bohol is the production of rice, root crops, and corn. These crops are made viable by the largest water reservoir in the Central Visayas, and I'm talking about the Bohol Malinaw Dam in Carmen. However, farmers on the island sometimes find it difficult to increase production of these annual crops owing to the high cost of inputs, such as fertilizers and lack of irrigation facilities. These factors are compounded by having few post-harvest facilities and limited access to transportation. Consequently, in times of natural disaster, there is a higher probability of the communities being dependent on imported food supplies. And so the challenge for agricultural reform is greater now than ever. While I cannot physically contribute to farming, I make it a point to matter in agriculture through legislation. That is why, as representative of the 1st District of Bohol and as current chair of the House of Representatives Committee on Tourism, I have been pushing for legislative measures on sustainable farming, which includes the Farm Tourism Bill and the Corporate Farming Bill. With the new administration coming in less than 3 months, we must begin laying out the important reforms we have to undertake in order to propel the entire nation to progress and prosperity. My proposal for a reform agenda relates broadly to agricultural development. Ours is a country largely dependent on agriculture. This is an understatement. The world is dependent on farmers. It is Canadian farmer and inspirational speaker Brenda Schoff who said, "My grandfather used to say that once in your life, you need a doctor, a lawyer, and a policeman, and a preacher. But every day, 3 times a day, you need a farmer." Ironically, the Philippines is teeming with hungry mouths to feed, and poverty is most rampant where food is grown. With global prices skyrocketing, food becomes even more unreachable for the poor. While higher prices of food should, in theory, increase the income of farmers and benefit rural development, most of our rural folk are even unable to afford food at existing market prices, much less benefit from them. The agriculture sector demands renewed attention. Agricultural productivity has, through the years, failed to keep pace with the increasing demand from a world population that grows by thousands every day. We therefore need to make agriculture more sustainable and more attractive to investors in order to keep up with the changing times. The Farm Tourism Bill, which I co-authored, aims to bring income to poor farmers by introducing, educating, and even training the youth on agricultural practices as well as providing outdoor recreation. 20 years ago, we are the envy of our regional neighbors. They go to the Philippines to study agriculture. Now, Thai rice has become more popular than our very own rice here in the Philippines. Worse, we had to resort to importation. Studies show that the average age of Filipino farmers nowadays is 56. May I repeat? 56. 56. Just imagine that in the near future, there will be no more farmers to till our lands and produce the food that we eat. It is a sad reality that the Filipino youth are veering away from studying agriculture. And agricultural graduates, more often than not, work in more progressive farm environments such as New Zealand and Australia. Indeed, there is gain in boosting farming in the country. There is a need to promote farming not only as a means to produce food, but also as an appealing tourism activity which will attract visitors and guests. Hence, the tandem of farming and tourism. Farm tourism has been proven in several countries to provide additional opportunities for farmers, farm owners, and farm producers in generating additional income. The Bohol Bee Farm is a perfect example of farm tourism. While not the traditional farm as we know it, but a farm which tends to bees. The Bohol Bee Farm has become a regular part in the itinerary of tourists, local and foreign alike, here in our province of Bohol. If passed, farms will undergo accreditation process in order to qualify for benefits, incentives, and promotion. To date, there are 5 farms accredited with the Department of Tourism, mostly organic farms. But we have all sorts of farms: bee farms, flower farms, pearl farms, turtle farms, aquaculture farms, livestock farms, and many other farms that limited to our common and traditional notion of what a farm is. The farm tourism has already passed bicameral conference committee, and we hope that it will soon be signed by the President. Another important bill which I have been pushing in Congress is the Corporate Farming Bill, which seeks to ensure a stable food supply by engaging corporations and other profit organizations in the production of rice or corn without adversely affecting their financial viability. Under this bill, corporations and partnerships that would participate in corporate farming shall be given tax incentives on customs duties, value-added tax, capital gains tax, and other tax breaks for the importation of all types of agricultural inputs, such as seeds, fertilizers, machinery, among others. Moreover, loans will be extended by the banks to the participating firms in compliance with the Agri-Agra Reform Credit Act of 2009. But over the long term, we have to consistently increase investment in agriculture. Pouring more resources into our agriculture is definitely a step in the right direction. First, we have to provide our farmers with adequate support, such as better infrastructure, good irrigation systems, and post-harvest network. These are fundamental to greatly expanding our agricultural productivity. Second, we have to modernize agriculture and harness advancements in technology to improve production. Remote sensing and satellite imagery, for instance, can help farmers maximize the use of agricultural inputs such as water, fertilizers, and seeds. Third, investment in agriculture must emphasize research and development, especially on more efficient breeding and farming practices. Agricultural R&D in developing countries have an average rate of return of 43% and can provide solutions to food supply shortage posed by climate change, farmland conversion, and a growing population. Fourth, we have to ensure that our agricultural development does not exacerbate climate change. The key to improving productivity in all sectors, particularly agriculture, is to step up our R&D efforts. Biotechnology can help us develop less water-intensive agriculture and pest and disease-resistant crops. Finally, we have to invest in our youth. Let us invest in agriculture education. I heard one young man said, bakit ang mga magsasaka sa ibang bansa mayayaman? Bakit sa atin hindi? We must bring back our youth to the farms. To them, after all, belongs our future. Thomas Jefferson said, agriculture is our wisest pursuit because it will, in the end, contribute most to real wealth, good morals, and happiness. A few months from now, the Filipino people will choose who will lead this country in the next 6 years, from 2016 to 2021. The next political regime is especially important. As we speak, there are already 103 million Filipinos. Our population experts, demographers, and economists have warned that by such time, we will have reached the limit of our country's carrying capacity in terms of both nature and society. This means, my friends, that we are at serious risk of maxing out the resources that can support the entire Philippine population. This is then an opportune time to undertake badly needed reforms. We need to innovate and make our agricultural sector responsive to the changing tide of innovation. With these reform measures in place, the Philippines will be better equipped for economic recovery in the short term and steady progress in the long term. With this, I congratulate our agricultural journalists for their relentless efforts in relaying vital information to the public. I salute our print, TV, and radio practitioners for fulfilling their crucial role of raising awareness on important issues concerning the country's agriculture industry. May we, therefore, together continue to find ways to make media a true agent of change and social transformation, and a meaningful forum for the discussion of relevant issues affecting the nation. So to you all, thank you, and I look forward to a successful activity this afternoon. Thank you, and mabuhay.